I'm not going to stand up and okay. And my voice is a bit croaky because I gave it to the police officers earlier on. But that was a different forum. Now this is much more dignified, and we can say what we want. So I'll perhaps speak a little bit more intelligently, or with less anger. I am very angry though, as you know. So my brother died in 2 years today. In fact, the time is now 7:20, and he was on his way walking down Brixton Hill, where members of the public saw him behaving strangely because he was having a breakdown that day. But there is another story actually before that with the mental health, his care team, SLAM, and that's another story. But basically 6999 calls are made to the police for them to come and take Sean to a place of safety, which is actually a hospital, not a police cell. The police refused to come. In fact, one of the officers put the phone down on the lady that was calling from the hostel. Excuse me. Anyway, a member of the public saw Sean behaving strangely and called the police, to which they responded to. And everybody in the street, all the 999 calls, could see that Sean was not well mentally. But for some reason, well, the police did not spot that. Everybody else saw it, the people on the street, the calls being made, even the people that receiving the 999 calls, the 999 handlers, could recognize when the witness, it was a witness that had called the police. And even the person on the other line could say, well, obviously he's not well. Anyway, the police came in and there was some chase, and they restrained him on the front down and restrained him to the rear. I can't divulge too much into the case because it's still ongoing, but I'm going to actually tell you what happened. Anyway, he was thrown into the back of a police van. According to the officers, Sean was in the back of the van with his hands behind his back, and this is one of those police vans that's got the cage, you know, the two seats, so there's a little small area at the bottom. So Sean, bearing in mind he's got his handcuffs on, was lying on his back with his legs in the air, spinning in that little space while they were driving back to the station on their blues and twos in an emergency. First of all, why were they coming back after restraint? They've arrested him and restrained him. He's put in the back of the van. They just need to drive back to Brixton police station. But they're not. They're actually on an emergency on their blues and twos. Why? Is there something wrong with Sean in the back of the van? And you must also consider that this is in a very short space of time. Sean left the premises at 7 o'clock on Brixton Hill. He lived on Fairmount Road. And well, the officers have told us that he was arrested around 20 to 8. I'm not sure about that yet. We think something may have happened before that with the police, but we're still going through the evidence. And they were driving back to the station. Now the officers say that they both, all the four officers were in the front of the vehicle, but there are actually quite a few witnesses to the arrest and the restraint, funnily enough, and there's photographic evidence as well. Praise God that somebody did that, and we only just found out that recently. But witnesses say that two officers did actually go into the back of the van with Sean when he was placed in there. So I don't think it's possible for a van to be going on its blues and twos in an emergency. You've got your handcuffs on, and you're in that little space of that, you know, the van. And is it possible for somebody to be turning around and around and around on their back? Well, this is what the officers have said. I mean, they've not been cross-examined in the inquest yet, and I just can't wait to get them on the stand. That's the first thing. When he got back to the station, he arrived in the station at about 5 to 8. Sean could not come out of the van. He was in the van for 11 minutes before they took him out of the van, but they cleared the custody suite first because they didn't want anybody to see him. Now remember, Sean was having a breakdown. He was very unwell, and he couldn't recognize anybody, not even the people that he lived with. This is why they were calling, you know, for the police to come and take him, help them to take him to the hospital, because SLAM were not helping either. So every which way you turn around, in every which way you look, you know, they were all making this, there's a catalogue of errors. So by the time they removed my brother out of the van in a collapsed state, because Sean was in and out of consciousness, because we've seen the CCTV, okay? Well, exactly. Well, I don't know if some of you know, at the back of Brixton Police Station's yard, there's a custody, the custody suite is at the back, and there's a caged area, and it's not inside the cell. It's not inside the actual custody suite, it's outside. By the time my brother got out of the van, and apparently did kind of walk, well, the CCTV that we've got doesn't show him walk at all, it doesn't show him coming out of the van. And then, on the other hand, they showed us the CCTV where he did walk, so I want to know which one he did. Did he walk or didn't he?
Either way, he was assisted.
Either way, he was definitely assisted. Sean could not have made it by himself. Okay, so the CCTV that we've been given to watch is from the camera that's at the back of the gate of the yard, that's looking down across the hall, so it's distant. Okay, but actually above the cage, funnily enough, you know, this is their security door at the back of Brixton Police Station. You're telling me that they don't have CCTV? Because the IPCC told us the cameras it doesn't exist. At the back of their door. Hello? Unbeknownst to them, we'd already actually did our investigation. On the second day of Sean's death, we were in there. Right? We was having a boardroom meeting with Madame Mom Suzanne Wallace, who apparently, they told me today, she's not there anymore. I wonder why. I know why. And she actually took us to the spot where Sean died, and we observed the cameras, so they weren't there. It would have been a bird's eye view of the van and also the caged area, because when they brought the van in, they brought it towards the end of the yard, reversed it back into the door against the wall. So you understand, the door's there, so they opened the doors, right? So it's against the wall. Do you understand what I'm saying? The van's been reversed and the doors are open, so nobody can see. But there's a camera there. There is a camera there, but the IPCC failed to see it, apparently. So when we insisted it was there, and we said we want a map of the van, a map of the area, and we insisted because we saw it ourselves. They then came back and said, oh, the cameras do exist, but they've not actually been working for 3 months. Does anybody in this room believe that? This is the back of Brixton Police Station. Security door, and the camera's not been working for 3 months. Yeah, that's a lie. Okay. By the time Sean gets to the cage, he never stands up once. Never. He's put to sit down, and the officers say, I think I remember reading somewhere where the officers say, oh, he just wanted to sleep. This is a person that they described as very violent in the back of the van. We've got a violent in the back of the van. They've got to clear the custody suite because he's so violent. Hello? Sean was practically dead in the van. If they left him in there any more longer, he would have died in the van. because he only took a